know the mayor's coming, but if you're ready, I know
Let's go.
he's trying to get to an end.
I got a meeting at 1:20.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we ready?
Yes.
Awesome. And I guess it's you and I'm here to talk about metal detectors because I was asked to look into this. And we met with finance. I guess that was this Friday. I think you've already seen it. I'm gonna get to it. This is the same sheet you got the other day. Y'all want, I'll see the one I can read off of.
Thank you.
Can y'all share?
That's fine.
Great.
You wanna come up here instead?
So this has to do with the upgrades to City Hall. And I was asked to look into metal detectors and the cost. We priced 3 at, which would put 1 at the council chambers and 1 at each entrance at City Hall. And though the price for 3 is $14,850, shipping if you'll flip on the back is $199.09. So these are located in Georgia. They can ship in 1 to 3 days, and that total dollar amount is $15,049.09. I was asked to look into the current unit that's at the council chambers now. It's probably going to have a panel replaced on it, it appears. It's functional, but you get an error code that pops up, which is a little concerning. But that's something I feel like can be, those panels can be purchased, just the panels, you have to replace the whole thing. But we talked about.
You do or you don't?
I don't think you're gonna have to,
Oh.
yeah, we'd have to have somebody a lot smarter than me to look at it probably. But it appears that that's probably what it's gonna need.
A cost estimate on that?
Oh, I have no clue on that to get that, what an actual panel would cost. We'd have to compare that to what a total replacement is, I guess. But what that would do, if we do these 3, that'll give us 3 fully functional and even have a backup, you know, or if we need a 4th for a special event or something like that.
And they're all portable.
Yes. Yeah, they're stackable. They have a bottom and top, 3 panels on each side. They throw in one of the wands or whatever. So that is the metal detector information. Anybody have any questions?
You said the total amount was $15,009?
Yes. 15,049.09. Do you have anything you wanted to add to that?
So I talked to Dynamic Staffing to get a quote for security. Unarmed security for a year would be $85,280, and 2 armed security for a year would be $95,555. If you have 2 PS10 officers to sit there full time, you're talking about a cost of $190,000 a year, and adding 2 more part-time, plus what we have there is part-time if we choose to go that route. That would be $87,940. So I think the discussion today was possibly having another armed guard at the council and letting the police officers do what they're supposed to do. But that's the cost of having armed security or unarmed security at those entrances.
So you're saying it's council, you'd use contracted rather than
You
police?
could, that's an option. But for sure, the 2 that you needed for the 2 at Short Court and College, you could have, that would be the cost of those 2 armed or unarmed guards.
What was the cost of armed again? 95?
96,000, just round it up, 96,000.
That with benefits?
No, that's paying staffing company. That's,
And so they cover the benefits.
yes, they do.
Okay.
And you said that was for 2,
Correct,
so that was like 40-some thousand a piece then?
correct.
And then what was the arm? No, that's the arm.
2 unarmed is 85,280.
And both of these are for 2,
Correct.
full time.
Yes, it would be assuming a 40-hour. If we had overtime, of course, we would just be billed for the overtime, time and a half. Any questions on those?
How long has that cleaning crew been cleaning?
Couple years. I mean, I think it's a 2 or 3 year contract.
Okay,
Are you talking about at City Hall?
yeah.
I think it's a 2 or 3 year contract.
Dynamic staffing, they're
Now,
local.
I don't think,
We can't answer the question.
No.
I don't think we can discuss that with the public here. You're here to listen. I mean, that's up to Ms. Simmons. This is her meeting.
It's not my
That's
meeting,
not-
it's Mr. Griffin, but
it's
you
not
are, you are accurate, but it's Mr.
Yes.
Griffin's meeting.
And Mr.
As far as the
David, who's
committee
been
is
coming to
structured.
meetings for a long time, will attest to the fact that your observation, you're not involved in this conversation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
But I appreciate the fact that you want to know. And you're writing it down.
I do.
Okay. Is that all with you, Chief?
Yeah, there was mention at finance about the 2 part-time employees. I do wanna,
Yeah.
just get on the record that, they have, their bosses have been contacted and the conversation is just kind of a heads up that this is being discussed because nothing's been decided yet. So those folks are being made aware that
They are aware now.
there could be changes, yeah, possibly.
Joan spoke to me too. She seemed fine.
Changes but not eliminated, correct?
Oh,
Of
that's-
course,
oh,
okay,
yeah.
All
absolutely.
right, that's my main concern.
Yeah, that's never
They've
been
been here and they've been
considered.
diligent.
And I don't think there was ever even thought of doing that at all.
Nope.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if it was any thought. I'm sure that it wasn't, but when I asked the other day, you guys couldn't answer any of it.
Well, I mean, we
Well,
just
no,
barely had
that's not
this.
true. We said that they might be
Well,
repurposed.
you-
They could escort folks, they could provide information for people. They'll still be extremely valuable once we
But,
use
I
it.
I just
mean,
wanted to make sure they was gonna
we were
stick
just
around.
at the very first of this conversation, talking about it, so.
Yeah.
That hadn't got to place to even discuss it.
Okay.
Is that all?
That's all I have.
And I want to ask a question. I know Chief and I have talked about this and, I mean, we've got the contract for that Jeff's working on security for the building. And I guess my question to you and to the others was, since we've got that, we're gonna have that in place, can we go without metal detectors? That's just a question. I think any of the council I've spoken with about that, feel strongly with metal detectors. I know I've had a meeting with a couple of department heads, and I think they still feel strongly about metal detectors.
So to answer your question, it adds that layer of, it gives people in the room, while someone may make them feel uncomfortable, we can have a certain degree of confidence to know that they aren't armed. That puts people at ease a little bit, where somebody can come in and we keep talking about the guy that came in and videoed, and no, he didn't commit any crimes that day to be arrested. That's why he wasn't arrested. But he did do things that were unusual that made people feel uncomfortable. And a lot of them I've heard specifically have said, we didn't know if he had a gun or what. And that's a logical question for people to ask. Having metal detectors and folks that are able to secondary screen before they come in, that'll kind of give folks a little bit of peace of mind. Hey, that person is acting unusual, but we're pretty confident that they aren't armed. So that'll help both sides, help people to react properly and just feel a little more safe.
And you did clarify about the old metal detector in the city hall.
Yes, I went and gave it a look-see after our meeting on Friday. Of course, I'm not an expert in that at all, but some of our techie folks went down and looked at it, I believe, yesterday. We think a panel may need to be ordered or replaced. We don't know that for sure, but it throws a code that you can go through and it'll tell you, target detected is what it says. But it has different warnings on there, and what they gotta do, they've gotta reassemble it differently to see if the code throws up on a different level, and then identify which panels. We think that will solve it.
So there's a possibility of updating it.
Possibly, and it would be a good backup to have, since it is showing some issues. It'd be good to have, 3 fully functional ones with a backup or an extra.
Is that one portable?
Yes.
The one that's in there right now?
It's very much like this one. It's stacked in several pieces, and you can transport it on a little trailer that comes with it, and then reassemble it when you
I mean,
need
the
it.
trailer does come with it.
Yes, sir.
So we're working on getting a price for it to see what,
Yeah, we can get an actual quote on what one of those panels will cost and how many we would need. For sure.
it's still functional and it's not, I think we should have it.
The other question that came up, especially after, I mean, I didn't mention this to Joan, but is I know we were talking about, contracting with somebody with a weapon. If we didn't do that, is there a possibility that Clay and Joan could be trained to do that part-time, do that as their function some way?
With a firearm?
No, without a fire. I mean, if we decided we
I suppose, I mean, it depends on their ability to learn that procedure. I have no clue. I can't answer that intelligently. I know that armed security, they take classes, certified courses, and they're certified in the specific thing that we're asking them.
But I'm saying if you did not use armed,
The unarmed one.
But you would still need 2 additional, because they're only part-time.
Yeah.
So you would still have to hire 2 additional personnel for that.
so as I understand what we're talking about with armed, either way with armed, is you'd have 2 that would be full-time, and if you used them at the city council, you'd have two, if you use the same ones, you'd have 2 at an overtime rate for,
Well, and that may be a discussion we have with Dynamic because of the overlap in the time. I know that was mentioned the other day when council meetings typically start at 4, and if City Hall, I mean, unless we close the door at 4 o'clock, one of those, which probably is not recommended. So we would probably have to have an additional, even a part-time armed, if we choose to do that.
did have another conversation with HR, and I know Melinda's looking. One of the things that I really wanted to do was, after that event, was have some kind of training seminar with our employees, just give them kind of a heads up about how to react and not react and that kind of thing. She's looked around, but you know, it may be that there's some things y'all could tell us and
Yes.
just give them about, you know, how to react and not react. And
We have a specific program that we've talked to a lot of different departments across the city over the years. It's not necessarily an active threat. It has that with it, but it also has that kind of that hospitality piece of where, you know, you're not trying to assess what a person's going to do. Of course, it helps when you have peace of mind knowing that they're not armed, but it helps them respond better. And it also gives them options if something does become an emergency. Every business that has a building should have that training, so that's something we can definitely do.
So the employees that come to work now, armed, they'll have to stop being armed because they'll have to walk through that.
Well, it depends on if we want to allow people to have firearms inside the building.
So that's a decision that could be made.
Well, yes, whoever's responsible for the building makes that decision.
Because, you know, they walk down the street in the dark. Some of them are carrying weapons.
You're talking about city employees?
Mm-hmm.
That's something that'll have to be decided for sure.
Okay. Is that all on this subject?
so,
Shannon,
so our employees, they couldn't be open carrying. They might have concealed.
So if a building says you can't have firearms in there, just, you know, banks, a lot of businesses, they have that, we don't want firearms in here. So if a firearm comes in there and someone that's responsible party for the business or the building says, hey, you can't have firearms in here, you have to leave with it, then that person has to leave with it. And they're still not committing a crime at that point, but if they refuse to leave, it's considered trespassing. That's getting real deep in the weeds, but that's why every building has a decision it has to make. Our police department, for example, unless you're an on-duty police officer, you can't have a firearm inside our facility. So that's just a decision that would have to be made.
I think the challenge with employees with weapons is if an issue happened, ongoing issue, and that employee shows that weapon, and the police are there, how are they gonna know who's who?
Well, that's definitely a concern. That's why training is very important, and even the amount of training that we used to teach church security, and that was the biggest concern, and the biggest thing was, you know, hey, police don't know who's who, you know, when they show up, so.
At least in the city.
It's a great time to make a wise decision, and, you know, hopefully folks will do that. Can't guarantee it.
You hope the shooter in the church doesn't wear a suit and a tie.
Yeah, hope's not a very good strategy.
I know.
You had a question.
The funding, where's this
Well,
funding?
I know, we've discussed going ahead and purchasing the equipment in this year, and then this would go in next year's budget. The security guards would be in next year's. That would just come out of general
The
fund.
detectors will come out of 2025 budget.
Yes, we'll go ahead and get those ordered.
So that, so
But
as
determine
I,
on the security,
so as
how
I,
many,
as I understand the way, I mean, whatever y'all decide, but if we put that in the general fund budget, and the council decides to pull that out, they can certainly do that. So we're not asking to, I guess, approve it. We've just, we've added to the
Right,
budget, and
everything
we
in the
all,
budget.
when the finance committee looked at that, they chose to pull it out or not recommend that they could.
and this
You
would
mean the
have,
officers?
correct.
You mean the officers?
Officers, yeah.
Yeah, and this, the equipment, they can just purchase that without having to go to council. There's no contract required. I mean, you would just need the approval and he could get those ordered
How long would it take
on the,
to get them in?
It says that it's shipped from Georgia in 1 to 3 days,
Oh,
the vendor says.
okay.
So, but we wouldn't utilize them yet if we don't have somebody to
Who
use
installed
those.
you?
We do. I mean, they're,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just, anybody can.
Are the three, and do they come with individual trailers, or do they all, each one have a trailer?
I say a trailer, it's like a little hand truck thing, it's
Okay,
got
so
wheels
they're-
on it. It's part of the entire unit, it just stacks, and when it stacks, it's designed in a way where you can just grab it and put it on this little.
Okay.
Cart, might be a better way to explain it.
I got another question. I guess, well, I don't know who it's for. But these armed or possibly unarmed officers, you said dynamic, is that the only, place that y'all check? You check
well,
anybody
that's a
else?
local, I mean, I don't believe there's any other staffing companies around here that would probably provide that service. I can check with companies out of Huntsville. I did speak with, someone, I used to.
That probably wouldn't be good unless they
Yeah.
lived here. that you
So
know.
Dynamic was, I
Travel
think, the
time.
only company that I'm aware of locally that does have.
Is that who does it, Nancy?
No, they actually have employed personnel in Amesy.
And what some of these companies do, that they may be located somewhere else, but they employ people in a certain area. Some, they may, I know some do, but that might not be an option here.
I mean, there is a company that was recommended to me,
You
but
mean
it's out of
possibly if there's a
Tennessee.
company in
that it's,
Huntsville, a person may live here, is that what you're saying?
It's possible, because they try to
Balance it out.
do things regionally so that they
Well,
provide.
I think we should check.
If it's
That's fine,
possible.
I mean, I don't mind, I mean, the person I talked to out of from Dynamic, he actually was out of Birmingham, so, I mean, he was
Oh.
just their salesperson. But I know they have a physical location here, but I can check as many, I mean, it's not an issue.
Yeah. let's
I
see.
just know we
mean,
need, y'all, we kinda needed an idea of how much it was gonna cost, and that was the first one that, locally.
Yeah, yeah, I'll
that-
go local. But check, cause you maybe find somebody
fine.
who's a little bit less expensive. You never know.
No problem.
Let's move the fire department.
Chief, I know you needed.
Yes. I'm all good?
You good?
Thank y'all very much.
And we'll talk about the training too, Chief.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a great day.
Good luck with the interviews. So if you guys will indulge me, I know there's some visitors in the room, and I wasn't really prepared for that, but I wanna get in the electric vehicle out here and make a quick loop on the drill field. There's a prop I wanna let you look at, and we're gonna come back in here and have a discussion about everything, if y'all are good with that. You good? All right, let's do this right quick.